Hey, Storytelling Ron, and this is Tomb of Annihilation, Port Nyanzaru. This is about the merchants. Let's make sure I'm recording here. The merchants. Okay, this is the intrigue plots, and me as a DM prepping, figuring out these merchants. You know, like, do I want to play them with a lot of depth? Do I want to put a lot of conspiracies and intrigue in them, or just have them be those extra side characters that get, where you get stuff? But I kind of, as a DM, you kind of want to, you want to add those layers in there and figure out what kind of plots you could twist and turn for the players. And players, they love that sense that there's other stories going on, there's other plots going on. You don't necessarily have to fully flesh them out or fully play them out, but to know that this merchant has something else on his mind, or is doing something else, is kind of a fun little flavor or color to storytelling. And so that's what I'm doing, is I'm trying to get some depth into these merchants. And I've read, reading through the source material, and that's all I've sourced. I haven't looked at other people's, or any other DM's stuff. But I'm just trying to show you, my main goal here isn't to tell you to do these ideas. My main goal here is to show you the process. Okay, so let's just get to it, the process of what I'm doing. So in my previous map or video, I showed how I kind of broke down the city and how I was kind of labeling things on the map. That helped me get a better sense of, letting them kind of sandbox, go wherever they wanted, and I kind of knew what in that area they would see or encounter. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm doing now, though. I'm focusing on the merchants. Like, who are they? Because they know they have to go to Wakanga. But but what else is going on? And obviously these 7 merchants are going to have so much depth and control over all the other areas. So they're going to, it's inevitable that they're going to encounter them, their intrigue, their plots, and maybe have to take sides. And Port Nyanzaru is kind of a base of operations, especially for early on, as they're exploring the jungle and then have to get back and cash out and upgrade or whatever. So obviously they're going to the merchants are going to take interest in any adventurers that are successful. So you want to kind of have add this background depth into them, and the source material certainly adds that flavor. But I want to go even further. Like, well, if this is the case, then what? Then what's going on? So let's start off with, I must type that here. So this is the same, PDF document, but I'm split the windows, and this is the typing area. And I wanted to get the map so you guys can see the map pretty well. But I must type Wakanga, or Wakanga. Okay, so I just sort of am fleshing out my extra little info, like my quick notes on the merchants, and I split them up to categorize them in my mind. So there's good merchants, there's neutral. Make sure you can see all this. There's good merchants. I'm looking at the thing. There's neutral, swayed or weak merchants, and there's just 2 of them, Jobal and Jessamine, and then there's the evil merchants. Okay, and so the good merchant, Wakanga, he wants the Vorn. Now, I played this with my family previously, and my daughter, who played in that one, is now playing in this one, but a different character. But I'm gonna totally have that original party. What they've done is gonna be in the story, so I think that'll amuse my daughter. I think it'll amuse the others, because I don't want to play the same thing as a DM. So, but things have changed, so whatever. So, but the new party is coming in at the back end of a bunch of adventurers who had mass emigrated or whatever into Port Nyanzaru to solve this death curse. But we're at the back end in the sense that all the adventurers that came in are sort of getting filtered out. There's very few left, and so there's gonna be a lot of like dead adventurers out in the jungles and maybe at Omu, and so that's what they're going to be discovering now, as there are sort of the few left that people are even willing to go. It's almost like people, it's almost like the world has given up and accepted this new norm. Anyway, so Wakanga still wants the Vorn, but the other party has the Vorn, but that's going to be amusing. And Especially for my daughter who's been playing the new character and knows what happened to the Vorn in the previous one. But you can't give that away. Okay, so he's doing that. He's going to give him some potions. He's a little desperate. Nothing's been happening. There's all been failures. And Sindra Sylvain is really rotted away. She's still alive, but rotted. I'm kind of extending I'm making the deadline of their rotting away. Kind of just story wise arbitrary, not 1 hit point per day or anything. So she's kind of in his villa, very sick, and hopefully they'll talk to her. And so I'm going to go to Kawathi because this is like what kind of made me realize the real plot lines. So Kawathi, I don't know how to pronounce it. She does the wine exotics or whatever, and I put her here with the pavilion because I figured she must have parties. It must be all decadent. She's the wine connoisseur. And then I started really reading into the character, like, well, who is she again? I didn't really. It's funny when you read something, you just don't read it until you really. For me, I really need to see everything on a map, and then I start to read the characters, and then I start wondering, who are they? And then, so she has a succubus and an incubus, right, as her consorts or slaves, and she's obviously evil. She tortures, and then she worships Kosuth. Well, Kosuth to me, just based on what I've read and what little I've read, I mean, he could be evil for sure, but he's fire. He's kind of neutral, right? So he's not really. She's like sadistic. So I'm switching, and I kind of wanted to use Kosuth because of one of the players had a Kosuth worshipping character in the previous adventure, the Storm King's Thunder. So I was really excited to use Kosuth, but then I'm like, it doesn't make sense. So I looked up in Sword Coast Adventure Guide, and I found another god called Loviatar. I gotta pronounce Loviatar. Anyway, she's the Maiden of Pain, Scourge of the Mistress. So she's going to be like an S&M sadistic, torturing type of person, and she's got a succubus and an incubus, and they're charming and manipulating, controlling people. That's pretty powerful. That's evil. So I'm like, and she hates Zanthe, which is right here, who's part of the Utepkic Society, and Zanthe's an old lady, and she's with Zindar and others. We don't know who all. There's 50 of them, 50 members. So she thinks she still has enough power, but Kawathi is obviously, trying to gain more power and trying to control. And I'm thinking Kawathi is definitely corrupting a lot of people, to her side. And I'm thinking, and here's another thing I'm thinking. She's taken over the Temple of Soon, because I read Temple of Soon, and they're all like decadent. They're all like about beauty and stuff. Well, to me, that's like weak character, and she easily seduced her way into that, and now she controls. I think she's going to have her little dungeon in the bottom of this. So I'm going to make this creepy. I'm going to draw this out as a cool map too. I need to draw a temple one anyway. So that's so she's got this all under control. The top part is all how it's described, but in the bottom it's evil. And she's got a little secret. The pirates. If the adventurers go up, the pirates deliver adventurers to her to torture and kill. And she likes that because they're unaccountable. If she tortures and kills people in Port Nyanzaru, the Utepka Society and the merchants are going to start questioning, that's going to start coming up. But adventurers, totally free. She can do whatever she wants with them. And she doesn't, and she's tired of, also she runs slavery. I'm thinking I know there's slavery here. There's a lot of slavery. Who's running that? That doesn't mention anyone running that. So I'm going to say she does, because besides the fruit, wine, perfume, oils, and tej, that all comes from the vineyards, the farms. And to me, the farms are all slave driven. So she's running all that. In the merchants, they probably some of them want to get rid of slavery, but slavery is very powerful and greedy and blah, blah, blah. So that could be a nice, is there going to be a slave revolt? Ooh, what am I doing? Okay. So that could be a neat storyline. So she uses the succubus and incubus, her consorts, to seduce the other whoever she can. Obviously, she's going to seduce the Lord's Alliance because they're greedy. So she's working on the customs and taxes and the merchants that are down here. Ooh, I didn't write about what's her name in the Hall of Gold. She's very important. I haven't figured that out yet, but she's going to be something important. I don't know what yet. I'm assuming she's part of the Utepket Society, so maybe she's got some strength there. I don't know. But she's decadent, so there could be seduction there. Ikene Afe is the gladiator woman. She's tough, so tough and hardened. So I think even though Kawathi here is this close, I think she's resistant to Kawathi and her succubus and incubus, but not her husband. Her husband's a painter, and I, being a painter in my former younger life, know how easily seduced we are. So I think her husband is compromised, and so Ikene has got that frustration going on there, because artists and stuff want to hang out and get patronage from Kawathi because she's totally decadent in that sense. So there's that. That's a twist of storyline. Now Zanthe is obviously more concerned about the pirates because the pirates are thwarting the adventurers. The pirates are thwarting Port Nyanzaru and the trade, and so she's focused on that. She believes that, I think it says in the book that she's not concerned with Kawathi right now. She's more concerned with the pirates. I think I'm going to say that Zanthe believes that if she can stop the pirates, she's going to weaken Kawathi and her hold, and then Kawathi's going to start making more mistakes. I think Zanthe knows that Kawathi is using the pirates to get adventurers to sacrifice, and that's her pleasure. And horrible. So Zanthe thinks that if she stops that, she's going to start going after Port Nyanzaru residents, and that's when Zanthe and the others can then get the other merchants to join in and take her out. Because there's this sort of equilibrium. No one wants to take anyone out, unless it's something ridiculous or extravagant, and that's what she's hoping for. I think that's the way I'm going to play it out. I don't even know if any of this is going to play out with the players. I don't care. I like to add these levels of intrigue, to for myself. So Evon is a bad guy. He is. Well, not that you need to see this now, but this is kind of how I write it out and figure things out. But also doing these videos helps me, when I talk it through. I'm coming up with more stuff as I'm talking to you. So I'm actually using these videos for my own selfish thing. Okay, so Evon he does the mounds, the beasts. He's part of, now he's alliance with the Wanti. See, so we gotta bring I want to bring the Wanti and the purebloods in a little more into the Port Nyanzaru as that full circle type of thing. So I have to figure this out. I have to create a pureblood group that's in. I want to make like an NPC party they come up against at some point in Port Nyanzaru, or even like right outside. Maybe they're hiding out here. They got a little hideout house, and they send, and Evon sends them the flying snake to send them messages, about, and they're spying on any more adventurers that are coming in and doing their thing. So that's really important to me. Evon doing that, or his evil that way. What else did I read about Evon? Let's see. He sends the snakes. He hates Wakanga. He hates and is jealous of Ikena, as being a gladiator. And he has ties to the Zentarum too. So this guy's got some evil going on here. So he's talking to the Wanti, and he suspects it. So if he suspects it, then he knows he's doing it. Letting them know about that, and they're paying him with Omu artifacts. That's my. So if ever the characters encounter an Evon or attack him or go into his villa, they're going to discover Omu artifacts, and so they can learn about that. So see, there's another aspect of storytelling. Kawathi and him, like, I think Evon has been blackmailed by Kawathi, seduced and blackmailed, but he still doesn't care. He still knows she's dangerous, and he has Azron. I think he has Azon. Is it he, or is it the other dude, or is it Jabal? Someone has a loyal spy. Okay, it's Jabal. I'll get to that. But yeah, Evon is Evon. Even though he's being blackmailed by Kawathi or seduced, he's still gonna do his own thing. But she thinks she has him under his clutches. So that's another aspect. I'll get to Wakanga in a minute. Jabal is the guy that's neutral, and I think he's been blackmailed by Kawathi as well. But he has Azon, his loyal spy, who's told him about. She has, her consorts have powers, charming powers. So he knows that they can charm him. He doesn't know they're succubus or incubus, but he knows that they have these powers. So he knows, when he goes there, he's going to get, and enjoys their pleasures. He knows he's being seduced that way. so he's able to still keep a little independence on himself. Um, what's his goals? He still has his own desires. He wants the maps. I don't have this written there, but I remember it. And he's just trying. He's just trying to decide: does he make the deal with the devil or her, or does he wait until the good guys kill her and then he sides with them? So he's kind of like weighing both options, but he doesn't really care. This is the whole balance of power thing that's going on. For Jessamine, she's interesting. She's very neutral. She's staying out of it. She's way over here. I put her way over here. Oops, what am I doing? Okay. She's obviously got the death curse, so she's rotting. So she's kind of distracted in that sense. She still has her network of assassins, but she has to be careful how she uses them because she doesn't want to get all the merchants up against her. So she only uses them against adventurers or smaller, greedy, or people who mess up or who owe money or something like that. But I'm going to keep her kind of in that distant thing. But she's obvious. I think that she is now obsessed with the death curse because she's rotting. And so she's been researching. I think she has some old books or research. She's gathered stuff from other people stealing it or buying it to research the legends in the jungle because she knows it's in the jungle somewhere. So I think she knows about Omu and something over there, like the curse or it got swallowed up in the jungle. And she's wondering if that is the place. So that's another way to get that information, but only if they really can get into her, in access to her, or if she hears of their great exploits that maybe they're the adventurers she's been looking for. Because all the others have been failing or disappearing or leaving. Like I would say, a lot of them just gave up, and then left or are doing their own thing or whatever, or distracted, with fighting the undead, but not actually going into the jungle. And she has this little floral shop here I put here. And the characters right now are in the Grand Souk, heading. Oh, I forgot in the Illustrious. I forgot to keep this map open on the first adventure. I mean, I remembered most of it, and they roamed around this area, and I remember that, but I forgot the Illustrious is where they had their dinner. I gotta tell them that. Okay, so that's Jessamine. She's definitely going to be interested in them as they, get better. What else? Ikene with the gear, and she runs this kind of area, the smithing area. She's neutral. I think, if she feels that they're strong enough, she's going to tell them about Kawathi and the, and all that. So I'm going to definitely have her be, maybe influence them to deal with Kawathi, because she'd rather some outsiders do it, and then they could take the fall for it. So she's not that good, but she's still generally good. And Zanthe may side with that as well. If they find some adventurers that can help deal with it, with Kawathi, they may help the adventurers. Let them take the fall, but then somehow help them, escape or whatever. So that's my Wakanga. So Wakanga, what is his dealio? Does he know all? Yes, he knows all the intrigue that's going on. He's a magic user, so he knows what's going on. But he's trying to keep a balance, and he's trying to deal with the death curse he wants the Vorn. Once he gets the Vorn, I think he feels he will have a better chance at dealing maybe directly with what the merchants are doing, especially the evil Kawathi and Evon and his his betrayal of the city by dealing with the Zentarum too much, and then whatever he's doing. And then whoever he knows he's sending out these flying snakes. They're obviously visually there. So I think Wakanga knows quite a bit, but he just doesn't have the power to deal with it all. And he doesn't want to cause a war, if he can help it, especially with all the threats coming from the outside. Once he gets the Vorn, though, which he was probably not going to get, or some kind of really good bodyguards and that he can trust, because he can only trust a Vorn, really, or one of those. Okay, so that's, to me, what I've just come up with so far. Just in placing their names on the map where I think they should be, and looking visually at the map, and reading up on each of them, and then how they all, what is their cross plotting? Everything is a spider web. Everything is think of it as a spider web, and whenever you pluck one area, the whole thing starts to shake. So that really is what adds depth to a story, to a world, when your characters go exploring in that world, and you have to have that already at the surface. And the way I do it is by is by mapping it out, is with a map and with the title labels on there. I should draw like little arrows, like who's connected to who, and but I try to do that, but I can't figure that out with this thing. I can do lines, but I can't do arrows. I want to do arrows. I think InDesign should have just an arrow tool where you just can make an arrow go point anywhere, just like in Roll20. But anyway, so I think that's it. That's really all I want to talk about, is just how you can add that sort of intrigue into a story. And I don't know how much of it I'm going to actually play out, but it's ready in case they start talking. I'm going to have someone say a little too much, and that's going to intrigue the party. Yeah. Okay, so I hope this was helpful to you DMs in prepping and understanding how to do these dark plot lines. That Kawathi, man, that's interesting. How I figured all that out. Well, how it all kind of came together based on the materials that were given to me. Okay. Again, hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching.